Hey everyone, my name is Gamer Corey and welcome back to another Minecraft episode. Now in today's episode, we're going to be discussing a little bit about the brand new snapshot that was released today. We're going to go over it just very quickly, and if you guys do have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and we're going to dive into the snapshots and some of the new things coming very soon. As you can see, I am wearing some of the brand new Netherite armor, which is going to be stronger and tougher, and it actually has knockback resistance, which is pretty amazing, and it looks a lot different than our standard armor that we have come to know and love. I don't think I really like the new helmet, but that's just kind of a first impression. Everything else seems to look just fine. It looks very similar to what the other one did anyway. I'm not a big fan of the helmet. I do like the black look of the netherite everything, but it is very expensive to actually go ahead and get this. Now, technically, this snapshot is being called 20W06A, and there is a lot of new features with it. Obviously, we're kind of going over it right here. So you can see that we have a brand new biome right here in front of us, and this is the Crimson biome. Now, there's also a warped biome as well, and there's a lot of different things that we can actually go ahead and kind of check out around here. So here's the nether wart block. We have the shroom light. We have the crimson stem, the crimson nylium. We have the fungi. We've got roots. We've got a lot of different new blocks that are available here. Netherrack is kind of intermingled into it. We've got more fungi over here, which that's interesting that the warped fungi is actually intermixed in here because it's usually not. We've got some weeping vines as well. There's a couple brand new biomes. Obviously, the crimson is one of them, which you can see the ash kind of falling around here. I do like the warped one better than the crimson one. I think that the crimson is just too red on red, which is pretty interesting to me. So there's a lot of brand new blocks. We have the two new wood style, which is going to be the warped stem and also the crimson stem, which is back over there. We've got, all the other blocks that we kind of mentioned with the crimson, but it's also with the warped as well. Plus, we have the basalt blocks, and you can find them as pillars, and they can be placed in any direction, which is pretty nice. We have the old nether, which we kind of know and love, which is now being named as the Nether Wastes, kind of like the wastelands of the Nether. There's also the Souls and Valley, which once you get to that area, it kind of turns into a blue like haze instead of the red haze that we typically know about the Nether. A lot of the same stuff is there, except for the only difference is there's a lot more soul sand, and then there's soul soil, which I'm still trying to figure out some of the importance of some of that stuff yet. And then the background is blue, and then the fire is blue as well. The lava stays, it's standard lava color, but yeah, it does look pretty cool, and I'm hoping that we can kind of find one that it looks like. But I'm a bigger fan of the warped biomes than anything. I really do like that. There are brand new mobs in here as well. We have they're the Hoglins, and they literally do look like a warthog. And I do have a spawn egg that we can kind of take a look at it. I did attack one earlier in survival, and it didn't even do anything to me. But yeah, it definitely looks exactly like a warthog. It kind of looks like what is it? I'm trying to think of the Lion King. Pumbaa, is that his name? I think that's what his name is. That was like the first thing that reminded me of. Hey, it's the warthog from the Lion King. That's just what I thought. But I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to find some of the other areas that we can show them off to you guys, so you can kind of see what they look like. They are very cool. And obviously there's a lot of the Nether. Now I have been looking around for about a half an hour. I did this a little bit in creative. As you can see that I'm flying around right now in creative, and then I was also in spectator mode, and I was looking for the brand new ancient debris, which is how we're going to be able to craft some of these new netherite armor and tools. So we can actually do our sword. We can do our actual armor here, and then we can do all of our tools as netherite as well, which is stronger in the attack damage. It's actually +1, but it also lasts longer. And like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, is the new armor actually has knockback resistance that you can see there, and its armor toughness has a +1 as well. So if we actually look at this one, you can see that this is only +2 and then +8, and this is +3, +8, +1 with the knockback resistance. So there's a lot of really, really cool things that are being added to this one. Now, this one I'm honestly really excited for. I've always kind of felt like the Nether has needed something. I mean, there's a couple other biomes that definitely need some work as well. At least that's in my opinion. But you can now use bone meal on Netherrack to spread the nylium, if I'm actually pronouncing that right. The inside of the soul and valley area, which you'll definitely notice a huge change because it will go from red to blue. You can actually see the basalt columns, which they're huge pillars going. They pretty much remind me of like the lava that's flowing from the ceiling to the floor, and that's the exact same thing. And they're just big old blocks, and they can be placed in any direction, which is pretty cool. And there we go. There's a warped biome right there. Yeah, I really like the contrast of the teal color on the red, and you can see that now we're actually in the biome, so it just kind of changes just slightly. It has kind of like that weird, kind of like a purplish tinge to like the atmosphere around it, and I think this looks amazing. Now, the one thing that I have noticed is when you do reach some of these new or newer biomes, you definitely start to notice that there are a lot of tight spaces to move around in. So flying around might not be so easy in these areas anymore, as they are a little bit more dense because of all the different the warp blocks that we actually have, whether it be the crimson or the warped. So however, like I was mentioning, I never found any of the ancient debris in order to craft up some of these things, but it can be found at level 11. So if we actually go into spectator mode and drop down, level 11 is actually right about in this area. So you can see how much further we are below the lava, and you can actually clearly see why they're making everything known as far as be careful when you're going down here, and that it is very, very dangerous because the lava obviously runs faster than the Nether, so you're going to have to watch out for that. However, I do want to mention that in a half an hour of looking for it in creative and also in spectator mode, I never found a single piece of ancient debris. So I do have to let you guys know about that, because I think it's really important, because they did say that it is very, very, very rare to find, and they definitely were not kidding. Now, when you get the ancient debris here, you would either put this into a normal furnace or a blast furnace, and then you're going to end up with the netherite scrap. And then to make the ingot, you need 4 pieces of the scrap, so you have to find 4 of these. And then you have to combine them with 4 pieces of gold bars or gold ingots to make 1 netherite ingot. And then you can put these 2 on a crafting table to basically craft up this. So they are very expensive, and it's going to take some grinding in order to have to find some of these. But I'm sure somebody will come up with a really good way. However, all the information that I have found with the ancient debris does say that it is at the typical diamond level. So that would be around that level 11. You can see that we've got the basalt area right here, and we're actually going in from, we were at the regular nether, we saw the crimson, now we're going into the warped, and now we're going into the soul and valley area, and you can see the huge difference as soon as you get into it. So let's go into the crimson. It's going to turn that purplish haze, and then when we go into like the regular nether or the nether waste or whatever it's going to be called now, you can see that that's very red in the normal field. And as soon as we get into the soul and valley, it looks a lot different. It definitely looks a lot different. We got the bone blocks that are now around here, which is, I guess we can get some I mean, there's a lot of bone blocks if you look around here. Lots of bones that we can collect. So if you're really into wanting the bones or the bone meal, you can definitely do that. Plus, you can actually use the bone meal on the netherrack to either create the warped or the crimson nullium if you want to. This is also now the soul soil, and there's also a lot more soul sand in this area compared to any of the other areas. And then we got the blue flames, like I was mentioning before, which is pretty cool. Now, obviously, I haven't found the specific biome that really shows off or where we can even find the ancient debris. So I'm hoping that maybe we can find it a little bit better later. And then you can see these really cool, huge pillars from all the way from the bottom all the way up to the top. Now, I was trying to like do some research and look at these earlier to see if maybe these were kind of, you know, close to maybe some of the ancient debris, but I really didn't notice it at all when I was going into spectator mode. The other thing that I want you guys to know that I was reading about as well is that skeletons are now more of the main mob besides the. I mean, look how many ghast are in this area. I've never seen this many ghast in just one area, and that's all because of the soul and sand, or the soul and the Souls in Valley, something like that name. And then obviously there's regular skeletons down here as well, which is pretty cool. And then we obviously have some other things that are just sprinkled around from time to time. Then we got another crimson area, and then we'll get to this area, and this will turn into another color as well. And it's that deep red in the background. So it's a little too red on red for me, like I was mentioning before. But yeah, that's kind of the main things that we can kind of go over. We're going to break this down over time, over the next few videos, to let you guys see kind of what the difference is between the two. And I like the fact that they just completely change the way that it feels here in the Nether. I'm super excited to kind of just play around with this a little bit more to kind of see what is offered here with the brand new 1.16 updates and looking at some of the future snapshots. So if you guys are definitely looking forward to that, then go ahead and smack that like button. But that is all the time that I have for in today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video in any way, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. It would help me out a lot and is greatly appreciated. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing because you're already doing it. And you guys, stay gaming.